everybody, and welcome to the last episode of Music Rules. For season 1, that is. Yes, that's right. We always intended to do seasons of this show.
Correct. And it doesn't have anything at all to do with just getting a bit burnt out from suddenly having to produce a podcast every week and also write a song to go with the podcast.
Yes, it has nothing to do with that. But yeah, I mean, it's been a really interesting experience. So we figured we'd do a review episode just about like making the show, and hopefully we'll have enough to talk about, but I think we will.
Yeah.
So I guess ultimately why we're taking a bit of a break, we're just both like super busy, like teaching all the time.
Yeah.
And then we have the musical coming up in Melbourne on October 13 and 14, so we have to rehearse for that as well. Yes. So we'll actually probably be seeing each other more, but it's just not doing the show for a little bit.
I think the general plan is
we'll be back.
But people who do podcasts, did you know this, Fen? People who do podcasts, they usually bank things.
Yeah.
And what we've been doing, like idiots, is just every single week just going, oh, next pod, next thing.
What's the next thing?
Yeah.
And eventually you kind of like, I don't even listen to that much music, so you kind of run out of ideas a little bit.
Yeah. Definitely run out of energy to write a song a little bit.
Yeah.
We sort of like started doing the artist's way a little bit unintentionally. Is that what it's called?
That's exactly what it's called, the artist's way. So if you don't know what the artist's way is, buy the book. I did. I got it from secondhand store.
Yeah. Did you do it?
No, I did not. Oh. But what you do in the artist's way is you do something called morning pages, where every morning for an hour or whatever, you like fill a certain amount of pages, and it can be with anything. Like, it doesn't matter what it is. So it's just like an exercise in almost like productivity, or like forcing yourself to be creative and like not having these kind of like, helps you get over a creative block by treating creativity as something that isn't just this like, well, it's going to happen when lightning strikes and, you know, I can only be creative when I have that brilliant idea, like when I'm in the shower or whatever, which is like,
when the stars align.
Exactly. Yeah. But it's something that can be practiced. Like you can be creative on a regular basis. And I think actually you feel a lot more creative when you're doing more things more consistently. It's like anything else. Like if you practice it more, it comes more naturally to you. Yeah. And it still is like, you know, you still do have those like lightning bolt moments, but it's more like smaller and happening more consistently. Yeah,
for sure. And I think like in terms of like us doing that, because we weren't specifically doing that, but it just kind of eventuated. Some of these tracks that we made, I gave you the Macca's cup that doesn't have a solid bass and it just falls off all the time. It sits crazy. Weirdly. Not loving it. But yeah, basically after a while, where was I going with that?
Some of the tracks that we've made like ended up being pretty good. Is that
yeah, basically.
I mean, it was like a lot of work and especially like, I don't know, but I felt really good doing it. Like it was really, really satisfying, and I felt like I learned a lot, like from trying to break down like the way something works, or even just like the general spirit of someone else's music, and thinking like, how can I channel that into something that I make? Yeah. And I think generally, because I'm, you know, like generally bad at like approximating the exact sound of somebody else's whatever production, that I think it always sounded, for both of us, it always sounded like pretty different to the original band, and something that was kind of this fun like mix of creative energies or something, totally, where like the band you're inspired by plus, you know, your own self,
they sort of just inspire something different, and like
it's really fun
in our Cry Club one, because that was the track that we did together, and that was the one where I built the verse and you did the chorus.
Yeah, that's right.
And then you did I did the pre-chorus too. And then
I did a little bridge.
Yeah. And then we put them together without having to herd each other's parts.
Yeah.
That was really fun. That's a really cool creative exercise to write a song with someone.
And I think it helped that we were being inspired by the same source material, so that like the chorus that I wrote for that song like works really well with the verse that you wrote, and it all has this kind of like Spite Will Save Me, which is the name of the Cry Club album. It's got that kind of attitude about it.
Yeah, for sure.
Lyrically and like musically, it's
and we're really happy to be releasing them finally. I think when this comes out, it'll be on Bandcamp. Yeah, and potentially on Spotify.
Wow,
I don't know.
There you go. So you can listen to that.
Yeah, you can get into it.
Yeah, you can really dig into that while you know while you don't have your daily dose of weekly dose of music rules.
Yeah. I mean, there's heaps of stuff there.
There's tons of
heaps
stuff.
of stuff. And
We've recorded so many hours of material.
Like if you figure it out, right? Like there's 24 episodes as of this episode being recorded. Each one is like an hour long. Yeah. It's like an entire day of music rules.
It's a day. You could fill an entire day you could just listening from start to finish.
Just get like 5 Red Bulls and just close all the blinds and just go crazy.
Should we say like what our favorite episodes are? I wonder if they're the same.
Okay, so
you want to go first, or I can go first?
You can go first, but I just want to say I have favorite episodes for different reasons. Yeah. So like some of them I'm really proud of the songs, and other ones I'm really proud of the vibe.
yeah, true.
But what's your all round favoritist?
I think I don't know about I'll pick a couple of favorites. Okay. I think the Obscura Hail one was really good. Because we were both like really passionate about the band, and I think it led to like a really good discussion, and we were both and both the songs that we wrote were like really nice and good. Not to toot our own horns, but I think those two songs were kind of like Sean's energy, or the energy of Obscura Hail as a band, was like super inspiring for both of us.
Yeah, totally.
So that was really
for different reasons. As well.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I think that's been a cool bit, is finding out because I thought this would be way more kind of theory based, but it sort of ended up being equally theory as much as like kind of vibes, cultural, and kind of like just things that are going on.
I think definitely at the start I was really like taking pages of notes, and like I wanted it to be like a lesson or like a lecture essentially, and like really breaking stuff down analytically. Yeah. And then later on it's probably a combination of being a little bit lazy, but also like I think realizing, like for example in Spirit of the Beehive episode, I felt like I was saying too many like random numbers, random note names and stuff, and going like too hard into the theory side of things, and then it's not that entertaining to listen to. But I was like, oh damn, like I really like this band. I want to make sure that I've have understood it properly. Yeah,
there's like a few of those kind of SAE kind of ones, but like I don't know. I think you're like the Sondheim one. That was another one where you went really, really deep. Yeah. Where is it?
It's another one where like I think part of it is like a bit of imposter syndrome, where if I feel like I'm like I don't quite completely understand how something was written, I'm like, okay, I just have to try to go as deep as possible. Like musical theater, like I know a bit about it, but I don't know heaps about it. And like Stephen Sondheim, like the way his musical language works, I know something about it, but there's so many people in the world who know so much more about it. That it was kind of this imposter syndrome thing where I felt like I needed to like almost over prepare. In order to do a good job.
Yeah, for sure.
That episode was almost 2 hours long. And I cut out like 25 minutes probably.
Okay. Yeah, there's a few of those kind of ones where when it went a bit brutal.
But that, I mean, I think it resulted in a good thing. What was your kind of favorite?
Oh, Can I flip things and say the most difficult one?
Yeah, sure.
So the most difficult one was actually the first one for me. So we talked about this before, but I was like brutally hungover, and I like forgot it was meant to be on this day that we're starting this podcast. So I woke up and I just felt so bad, and I listened back to the intro that I did, and it was just like obviously awkward because it's our first ever like podcast. Yeah. but I was also just stumbling, like hungover and like just a bit brain dead, just like
Yeah.
And
I also recorded it horribly. Like I had my mic like 2 meters away from me, so
Yeah.
the sound quality of the first 2 episodes is absolutely crazy.
Yeah, that was kind of on me as well, because I should have been like, because I was hearing it, but anyway, whatever. It doesn't matter. It sounded all
It
right
gives
by
it
the
a
end.
raw and real energy.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. What
But
was,
yeah.
what was another? What's one of?
But one of the good ones.
Yeah, one of the good ones for you.
One of the good ones. I really liked doing High School Musical.
That was super fun, and your
that-
song was like really funny. So that
Yeah,
was really
cheers. Yeah, that was the first one that I didn't edit at all. Like
Oh,
it was
right.
just like we just released it, and it was
Yeah.
just like,
I remember watching the movie the night before. I was like, oh, this is so like, I'm so glad that Jack picked this. And this is such a kind of out of left field pick.
yeah,
So I think initially we kind of had this thought, oh, like we're going to talk about like this weird like indie music and like spotlight
that's the
underground artists.
idea. Yeah,
And then I was like, oh, and then I did the Andy Schoff episode. I was like, well, he's like got millions of plays on Spotify, but
yeah,
I just don't listen to enough music to be able to do that. And then we did the 1975 and I was like, okay,
Yeah.
well, I think we're really just,
Yeah.
it's just going to be whatever we want to talk about.
yeah. Especially with like a weekly crunch, like sort of thing, which we were doing. Which
You
was
just have to,
like,
follow the
do
direction of
something.
like whatever sparks your interest.
Yes, it's
A lot
true.
of people have like requested stuff or said like, oh, like this would be a good idea. And to them I say, I mean, keep the requests coming, and it is very, very unlikely that I'll ever take a request.
Yeah, it was like we got requested like heaps of the kind of like mathcore crowd came from Basil's Kite, and one guy's like, do this Psyopus album, and it's not like I don't want to do. Psyopus is like a crazy mathcore band, like
Yeah,
they make Basil's
we
Kite
might, like-
sound like Kings of Leon.
the thing is we might do it at some point, but
Yeah,
it's just like this weird thing where like when you're like planning the episode, like you got to write, you have to analyze all these songs and you have to go so deep on it, and like then you have to write a song like based on the band. It's so like labor intensive that it really has to be something that you're really obsessed with.
yeah,
And so with like a lot of these, it was really fun for me because this is my personality anyway, where it's like, oh yeah, I was like, sweet, I can just be really obsessed with this thing for 2 weeks. And especially like I really liked when you had a choice that was something that I was also like I could get into, or like you showed me something that I really liked.
yeah,
And then I feel like those were the best episodes, where it's like, yeah, this is something that we're both obsessed with at the moment, and like, we can go
for sure,
super deep into.
yeah. As funny as it is as well to kind of like throw something like terms at you, it's just like
Yeah, that was like
really
a great example.
not what you're used to. And you sort of did the same with 1975
Yeah,
because I'd never listened to them, but
yeah,
I liked it a lot.
yeah.
Yeah. I think it's been a really good experience. I think you can definitely tell when we started to get a bit time poor because we just started talking about our own music all the time.
Yeah.
But,
E.g. last
yeah.
week's episode.
Yeah.
But that was a good one, having Declan.
Yeah.
That was actually...
Yeah, that was really fun.
That was really fun. It just happened, but 10 minutes ago.
That's right. 13
13 minutes
14
ago.
minutes ago.
Little look behind the curtain.
What's your favorite song out of all of mine?
Out of all of your songs?
I think we should pick each other's because it's
that's a good idea. Just let me
down.
think. Yeah, scroll down. I thought the High School Musical one was really, really funny and really good. I really liked your Black Country New Road song.
Cheers.
That's
Yeah.
probably my favorite one, or the Obscure Hair one. I think the Black Country New Road song. Yeah, that was one where like I would go back and like grab the link from our messenger conversations and like listen back to it. Yeah, that was a really cool one.
Oh, cheers.
Yeah.
It's funny. Like, I think that's part of why I want to put it on Spotify. It's like just for myself because I did the thing where I'd be like, oh, I want to listen to this tune.
Well,
and then,
it'll be 2 monthly listeners on this album.
hell yeah, put it here.
Listener 1, listener 2. What about you? What was your favorite song that I made for the...
I really liked... Okay, so this is kind of a two-part answer. The You Beauty song was like the funniest because it was the most unexpected. And I was sort of expecting you to make something kind of like a little bit ochre. pardon me, a little bit ochre, and a bit guitar-y, and then instead I got like an EDM classic.
Yeah.
But that was cool because you're kind of pushing the idea of the inspired by a song. You're not making it sound like the band, but you're getting some of the messaging and you're using that to inform your writing.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that was fun.
What else? I'm going to keep scrolling here. I really liked. Oh yeah, the night music song was funny. I keep saying funny. It was beautiful. It was such a nice song. Even though it kind of was in an interesting form.
Yeah.
But I'd have to say my favorite was Andy Schoff.
Yeah.
It was the Norm song because it's got such a good title. It's such a good title.
Yeah.
And
a song about stalking Canadian singer-songwriter Andy Schoff.
Yeah. And I think you're good at playing the creep character.
How dare you?
Not being a creep IRL, but you do the voice good.
Yeah.
It was the perfect amount of
slight
little
creepiness.
Bit of quiver to it, like without overselling it or trying to.
It's interesting because one of the one of the really fun things about making this show was like the songs that I was writing for this is like nothing I would ever try to write. Not really. Like the Spirit of the Beehive one, I would never have tried to write a song like that. But especially this Andy Schoff one, like I would never have written like a concept song about stalking Andy Schoff in the style of Andy Schoff. Like if I was just, sitting at home thinking of like, oh, what song should I write? Like I would never have done that. So I feel like it was like a really good example of like, it could only have existed because of the podcast and like in that form. Yeah. So like, and I was really happy with how it turned out and like with the chords and all that. Yeah. All that jazz.
It's like a really interesting kind of way of thinking of things, right? Because like, I know if I'm writing something, like I'm in 2 bands at the moment, really 3. And if I'm writing something, I can usually tell like what sort of place it's meant to go to. But occasionally it's like you might come up with something and you're like, oh, this isn't really me. Like I can't share this under my name because I don't really want to kind of put that out as like a okie doke thing or whatever. But within the format of this podcast, like anything is fair game. Like you can create like a dorky musical song or you can create like a, like a...
It's been like really like, you kind of like, I've had to like expand my... mind a bit. I don't know.
But yes, like some of this stuff, like I feel like maybe the Andy Schoff one you would potentially release under your own name because I don't know, it's not that off-brand for
yeah,
you,
I mean it's similar to some of the music I make.
Yeah, but stuff like the You Beauty song.
The You Beauty one, I would never have written an EDM song. And I don't know why it was You Beauty that inspired me to do that. Yeah. Oh, it's also the fact that I only had my laptop. And like I didn't have any instruments that I could have played because I was like making it on a plane, like the instrumental and stuff.
So good.
Yeah, it was. It's funny, like all this stuff, like like just random circumstance and having the deadline of like, well, damn, I need to get this done by this specific date, and then it's like, okay, well, like on Thursday I have access to a drum kit for half an hour, so like this song can have drums or whatever, or like I don't have access to a drum kit but I have access to a piano or whatever. The 1975 song, like the 2 piano tracks in that are overlaid is like I literally had 8 minutes like before my students like turned up, like 8 minutes at this like with this nice sounding electric piano, and I was like, okay, well, just gonna like improvise this and like hope it sounds good and like just whack it on top of each other. And so it's like it's all this weird just finding these like little moments in the day to I'm sure you feel the same with when writing your stuff.
I gotta say, I think I was gonna ask you what was the most last minute song you had out of all this, but I think I know the answer. Because when I walked in to the Cry Club episode recording with Jono, Ben was like, wait up, man. Sorry, man. I got to like finish this. And then you were recording the last chorus.
The chorus vocals, yeah. It's so funny.
Which I incorrectly heard as I'm dumb. But it's actually...
It's I'm done.
I'm done.
No, with an N.
the opening track of our album, The Rules of Music.
The Rules of Music,
and, album 2 could probably come out during the break potentially, because we have enough for a second album. It's pretty.
I think so. I think that'd be a good.
I don't
way
know.
to do it. We'll see what happens.
Might be an off mic chat, but yeah, we got heaps of stuff recorded, and it's all because of this. So yeah, pretty sick.
It's kind of fun, like to be forced to do something.
Yeah, even if it's something that you kind of enforce on yourself.
Nobody's forcing us to do this.
No.
It's so funny. We're acting like it's this like big
No.
obligation.
No,
Nobody's like demanding a weekly
no,
show.
not at all. But hey, we see the Spotify analytics, and it's nice. I think it's like maybe 20, like it's like 50 people a week that we have listen, and 20 who finish, I think, or maybe even less.
Maybe 20% of 50, so 10.
So 10 people. So I'd like to thank them all personally and individually.
Yeah, Jacob Dawson Daly.
Yeah,
and that's it.
that's it. But yeah, we'll definitely be back. Probably just in a more sustainable fashion, I guess. Who knows?
Yeah. I mean, I really like the format of the show as it is, and like writing the songs and stuff. But it might just be like having bigger gaps, or like I don't know,
doing it seasonally, like
I think seasonally,
like we always planned.
Like we always planned. Oh yeah, and we're wearing these matching shirts.
I thought it'd be funny just to not say anything about them the whole way through. Thanks Temu.
Thanks Temu.com.
Unless there's something bad about Temu, in which case we got them from Alibaba.
Yes, unless there's something bad about Alibaba.
In which case we got them from Off Your Tree in Melbourne.
Yeah, we got them from Off Your Tree.
But
okay, yeah.
We could probably call it there. So thanks for listening, and see you guys
for season 2.
Season 2, maybe.
If you live in Melbourne, please come to the musical.
Yeah, please come.
I don't want to beg, but
I will say, I do want to beg.
I've been listening to the songs that you like, listen to the previous performance we did in preparation, and it sounds good.
They're good songs.
Yeah,
they're good. I'll play them now.
That's all you get.
All right, that's enough.
But come along to that. In the meantime. And yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Music rules.
Music rules. Bye.
Bye.